So we've got 67 days left. Let's go ahead and walk you through the plan. 67 working days left in the year. Can you believe that? You thought you had 4 months. You have just over half of that. 67 working days left. And you're going to see that in a little bit because I'm going to walk you through a calendar activity. Let's go to the business plan. Part 1 in your business plan. You should have this printed out by now. If not, go ahead and do so. They've been dropping it in the chat. I'll have them drop it in the chat again. Year-to-date production results. So here's what I want you to look at. Through August, I want to know how many contacts, what you're doing each day, how many client events you've hosted. I want to know how many times you've touched your database. An email to your database counts as a touch, by the way. A text message to your database counts as a touch. I want to know how many new people you've added to your database. I want to know how many listing appointments you've set, how many you've met, how many have signed with you, how many have sold, and how many have closed. I want to know how many buyer appointments set, met, signed, sold, closed. Why? Because I can't help you plan if I don't know where you're at. So you might have to take some time this weekend, this evening, whatever, to actually go back and collect some of these numbers because by then, August will be behind us. Next, you have a total fallout rate. That's going to give me an idea of how many deals you put together that don't make it to a closing table. And then, of course, total units closed, total volume closed, and everyone's favorite, how much money you've made so far this year. So I want to know if I'm going to help you get to the next level, I need to know what you've done so far because we can't plan for the future until we know what you've accomplished so far. Part 2, I need to know what's going on in your market. Because same thing there. I can't help you with determining how many listings you need to take until I know what percentage of listings are being sold in your market. So under part 2, where it says year over year results, know your market, I need to know new listings year to date versus last year to date. I need to know on market inventory year to date versus last year to date. I need to know how many pending sales in your MLS year to date versus last year to date. Because if your pending sales are down 30%, then we might have to make 30% more contacts to make up for that. I need to know closed sales and I need to know your average sales price. Anytime you go to put a business plan together, I can't help you put a plan together unless you complete part 1 and part 2 before you sit down with me or one of our coaches, before you sit down with your mentor, before you sit down with your broker, before you sit down with your manager, your coach, whoever. They got to know where you're at in order to help you plan for where you want to go. So take some time. Find your market stats under part 2, look at what you've done so far this year under part 1, and get those in place before you move to part 3, because that's what everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to go into, all right, Jeff, I don't want to talk about the past. Can we just put that behind me? I don't want to talk about what I've done so far this year. Let's just jump to part 3 so I can plan for my 4th quarter. Well, there is something to be said about erasing the past if it wasn't so great, but I can help you more effectively if I know actually what you're going through. So let's take a look at part 3, our 4th quarter goals. In the 4th quarter, you notice I have there September, October, November. Again, if you joined us late, you're probably wondering, we got so many messages from you. And I told our team to respond every single time. That's why you need to be on. That's why you need to be on. That's why we need to be on. Do you know how many? I think we got probably 24 messages from real estate agents across North America that said, does Jeff know his calendar? Because on my calendar, the 4th quarter is October, November, December. Does Jeff know his calendar? Well, of course I know my calendar. And I know in 21 years of doing this at a high level, I know that actually, if I want to look at what it is I'm going to accomplish this year, I need to look at what I need to do in September, what I need to do in October, what I need to do in November. So let's take a look for a second. Current listing inventory. How many active listings do you have right now? Well, Jeff, I've got 5, I've got 15, I've got 20, I've got 30, I've got 4. However many active listings you have right now, not currently pending, active listings, write that number down. Next, I want you to think about this year. This part's super important. This is going to answer when someone says to me, Jeff, what should my monthly goal be in the last quarter of the year, in the September, October, November? What should my new business sales goal be for those 3 months? Here's a real simple formula that I've been using for years. It's very effective. It's going to stretch you a little bit, but not to a crazy amount. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question. If you want to determine what your monthly goal should be, I don't want you to do this. This is the mistake most people make. All right, what was your goal for the year? Well, my goal was 40. How many deals have you done so far this year? 20. So should my goal be 20 for the 4th quarter? Absolutely not. A lot of agents agents leading teams and agents heavy in production will look at it and say, well, all right, here's what I said I wanted to do. Here's where I'm at. I guess this is my goal. Stop doing it that way. Instead, I want you to just set that aside for a second. And I want you to tell me, when you look at this year, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, 8 months of production this year, what was your best month for pending business? All right, take a second to think about that. What was your best month for pending sales? Meaning you put up, if you have a sales board in your office, you saw your name up there 6 times, you saw your name up there 10 times, you saw your name up there 3 times. What was your best pending sales month? All right, for the sake of exercise, I'm going to go with the number 4. Let's just say your best month was, Jeff, I did, in the month of May, I did 4 pending deals. Awesome. Love that. So your best pending month was 4. Got it? Write that down. So for the sake of my exercise, I'm going to go ahead and write down the number 4. Now, when you look at so far this year, what you've closed, all right, we're 8 months into the year. How many deals have you closed so far this year? 8 months into the year. Well, let's see. I wanted to do 40. Not doing as good as I thought. I'm only at 16. Okay. Hey, not bad. 16 deals closed. Of course, you might be behind on goal, but that's still not bad. Depending on what your goal was. So let's just say the number is 16. We've closed at the end of this week. We're going to have 8 months in the books. You've done 16 deals in 8 months. You're averaging 2 per month. So now what I want you to write down there is your average pending sales month. The QTY stands for quantity, of course. The number 2. Go ahead and write the number 2 in this case, sake of exercise. So my best month was 4. I'm averaging 2 per month. Now, by the way, let me just share something with you for a second. Whatever number you wrote down there for average for this year, most likely if you take that number times it by 3, that's how many closings you're going to add to your business by the end of this year. Think about that for a second. Whatever you're averaging per month right now, this year so far, take that number, times it by 3. Whatever that equals, that's going to be added to your close unit number for the year. How do you feel about that? Most agents, by the way, are going to say, I don't like that number. That's way less than my goal, Jeff. My goal was 40. I'm at 20. I need to do 20 deals in 3 months. Yeah, but your average month was 2. You're telling me you're going to do 20 deals in 3 months? Not possible. It's not going to happen. Okay, there's not enough hours in the day, even if you were to work 24 hours a day. So what I want you to do instead is I want you to pick a number between those two. In this case, I kept the math simple for myself. In this case, the number would be 3. Your best month was 4. Your average month is 2. Your new monthly goal for September, October, November is 3. You're producing at an average rate of 2. Your best month was 4. So we know you're capable. Now, some agents will say, well, wait a minute, Jeff, if my best month was 4, why can't I just do 4 times 3? You could, but think about this for a second. My follow-up question to that would be, well, how many times did you hit 4 this year? You want to average your best, you want to have your best month 3 months in a row. How many times did you hit 4 this year? Well, I only hit 4 one time. It's probably not likely then. Now, have you displayed that you've done 4 3 months in a row already this year? If the answer to that question is yes, then all right, let's go with 4. But for the most part, what you're going to find is your best month, you've only hit it maybe once or twice. So I want you to pick a number between those two. Now watch this. In this case, the number's 3. We have 3 months left, not 4. We have 3 months left. So 3 times 3 is 9. That means you're going to add 9 closings in this scenario to your business this year. Now, I want to take this a step further. So right now, if we don't change a thing, you're on pace to add 6 because you're averaging 2 a month. There's 3 months left. 2 times 3 is 6. So now what I want to know, if I were coaching you today, and here's what I want you to think about for one of the last steps in the plan. If you're really actually on pace to just do 6 more, and we got to stretch it a little bit to get to 9, right? Remember, we're splitting the difference between your best month and your average month. Then that's a differential, that's a delta of 3 deals. In other words, you're going to end up doing 3 more deals if you follow the plan than if you just kept coasting or if you just kept doing what you've been doing. So my follow-up to that would be, what's your average commission? Well, Jeff, my average commission after splitting everything is $5,000. Okay, cool. So 3 more closings than you would have had times 5 is $15,000. Yep, that's right. What would you do with an extra $15,000 this year? Where would it go? What would you pay off? What would you buy? Would you put it towards your kitchen? Would you buy a new car? Whatever. What would you do with an extra 15 grand? Because you're already on pace to do 6 more deals between now and the end of the year. I'm encouraging you to bump that, split the difference, do 3 a month times 3 months. So now that's 3 more deals than you're on pace for. That's 15 grand. What would you do with it? Why is that important that we identify that? Because if we don't know why we're doing it, we're not going to put in the extra time. We're not going to make the calls. We're not going to come in early. We're not going to stay late. We're not going to host an open house when we don't want to. So section or part 3 is very important for the fourth quarter plan to be effective. So now let's go ahead and move over to the right-hand side. Well, now I can take that number 9, okay, and look at where are they going to come from? Well, how am I going to know where they're going to come from? You're going to look back at the business you've already done so far this year. So now, let's just say for my particular case, when I look at what I've done so far this year, I'm kind of more listing heavy than I am buyer heavy. So I went ahead and wrote down, right, the number's 9. I wrote down 6 listings pended, and I wrote down 3 buyers sold. There's my 9. Because based on what I've done so far this year, I'm doing about 2/3 seller business, 1/3 buyer business. And now I can work it down from there. For the sake of exercise, watch. 6 listings pended, meaning based on what I've sold so far this year, because I know my numbers, means I need to take 8 listings. And in order to take 8 listings, because I'm averaging, just to keep math simple, I'm averaging 50% appointments gone on to taken, then I need to go meet with 16 sellers in order to have 8 signed to get 6 to sell. Well, in order to meet with 16 sellers, because not everyone agrees to meeting with me after I set the appointment because, they pre-qual out or they cancel on me or they sign with somebody else, I need to set 24 appointments in the next 3 months, which, by the way, is only 2 a week. Because now you can take that 24 divided by how many weeks do we have left? 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2 per week. Not bad. All I need to do is set 2 listing appointments per week. That's going to get me 16 gone on. That's going to get me 8 signed and 6 pended. Buyer sales, I can do the same thing. I have 3 buyer solds written down. Buyer offer signed, because I'm averaging 50% written to accepted, is a 6. How many buyers do I need to meet with? Well, 2/3 of buyers that I meet with end up signing with me. So that means I need to meet with 9. How many buyer appointments do I need to set in order to meet with 9? Well, about 75% of buyers that I set an appointment with end up showing up or not canceling on me. So I need to set 12. There's 12 weeks left in the fourth quarter. That's 1 a week. So I have to set 2 listing appointments a week, and I have to set 1 buyer appointment a week in order to close 9 more transactions between now and the end of the year. That's how you take this and transfer it down to the nitty-gritty of appointments set, appointments met, and contracts signed. And then, of course, as you continue there, where will that put you for total units sold, total units closed, total volume closed, and total income paid? I will say one thing. You see their new average contacts per day? Here's why that's part of the fourth quarter plan. Because if you're behind, there's no other way you can slice it. You have to make more contacts per day. And I know that sounds so basic. I know that sounds so like, oh my gosh, Jeff, tell me to make another contact. Will you please? Come on now. Watch. If closings are down by 30%, just hear me out for a second. If closings in your market are down 30%, which is kind of common across the country, in order for you to do the same, okay, I'm not even talking more. In order for you to do the same, you have to increase your contacts by 30%. By the way, for those of you that joined us last January, I shared with you that was going to happen. Last July, when we had the Live Unreal retreat up in Traverse City, maybe it was August, sorry. We predicted closings were going to be down 30 to 40%. When we did the annual business plan this year, we predicted that was going to happen. And guess what? That happened. So what did I also say during that time? You're going to have to find a way to increase your daily contacts. What was the number I shared with everyone? 30 to 35%. Here we are. You're going to have to increase them by 30 to 35%. Now, for those of you that are only making 10 a day, 30 to 35% is just going to 13 or 14. Not so bad. But if you're at 20 a day, and you've got big goals, 50, 75, 100 deals, and you're at 20, 25, well, 30 to 35% of that is more like 7 to 10 contacts. 7 to 10 contacts, Jeff. That's another hour of dials. That's right. It might be. Very important that you're paying attention to increasing your average contacts per day right now, especially if closings are down in your market. All right, let's go to part 4. So let me just read this as it's written in the plan. Hopefully you have this printed out by now and in front of you. What is a source of business you said you were going to double down on in 2023 that you have yet to do so? What specifically can you do to double down in the fourth quarter of this year? So when you did your annual plan at the beginning of the year, or I guess that would be the end of last year, when you did your mid-year plan with us, I think we had a couple thousand on for that, you told us and you committed to doubling down on a source of business. I don't care what source it was, database, expireds, internet leads, social media, whatever. You said you were going to double down. So here's what I want you to do. I want you, not right this second, but when you go to complete this plan, I want you to pull out your mid-year plan. Everyone on this session should have done a mid-year plan. If you've been coming to Glover U events or you've been following us for a while, you would have done a mid-year plan with us. Grab your mid-year plan. Go to this portion. What did you say you were going to double down on? And what have you done? And what do we have left to do? So this is more so a reminder of, all right, we got to go back and look at what we committed to doing. What do we have left to do? And what have I already made progress on? I want you to refresh part 4, but you're going to need your mid-year plan. If you didn't do a mid-year plan, you're going to need your annual plan in order to help you with that. Part 5, this is a new addition to the fourth quarter plan. I identified 4 areas where agents who are winning right now and winning big are succeeding. Now, these are in addition to database and your CRM. All right, your CRM is probably full of internet leads. Your database is full of past clients in Sphere. Okay, we've talked about that enough this year. So these are in addition to. In other words, if you're looking to pick up another source of business that we're seeing clients day in and day out have success with, it's in these 4 areas. Okay, hybrid farming, which we talk about at our bigger events. All right, if you get a chance to go through SalesRocket, you'll learn what that is. Social media and video, open houses, and expires and for sale by owners. These 4 areas, when we look at our best clients, and I'm not just talking clients that are doing 20, 30 deals a year. I'm talking our clients are doing 50, 75, 100, 125 plus. They are winning in one of these 4 areas. Hybrid farming, social media, specifically video, open houses, and expired and for sale by owners. All right, expired and for sale by owners are up because the market's down, so more consumers need our help. Open houses are up because inventory is low, so more consumers are exhausting all options to find out about real estate. So what are they doing? They're going to open houses. Social media and video is up because video is standing out in a big way right now because most agents are still posting silly Canva images. You understand in the next year or 2, posting a Canva image is going to be like, you're going to be like extinct. That's not even going to be something that's even effective at all. Video, we're seeing a lot of success with agents that are in our coaching, specifically with video. You heard that. You've come to our events. We've had panelists talk about it. I mean, it's been something we've been preaching for years now. And then hybrid farming is something that I shared at the retreat in Traverse City, which is identifying a neighborhood that has at least 5% turnover, identifying a neighborhood that has at least 150 rooftops, and going into that neighborhood, whether it's over the phone or at their door, once per month, every single year to let them know what's going on in the neighborhood. What I want you to do is I want you to identify one of the 4 above. Again, these are in addition to your database. Whatever you're doing with your database, okay? Don't change it. Maybe probably add to it, but don't remove it. Same thing with your CRM. What if you're spending an hour and a half in your CRM following up on our leads? Don't change that. I'm suggesting under part 5, you introduce a new source of business in the fourth quarter. Why? For 2 reasons. Number 1, it's actually going to lead to closings in the fourth quarter. You're going to have a healthy December because of what you do here, because it only takes 3 months for you to start to see results. So you're going to have a healthy Christmas, whatever holiday it is you celebrate because of you taking action on part 5. Hybrid farming, social media, open houses, expired for sale by owners. So now once you identify which one of those 4, I want you to write out 5 steps to succeeding with one of those 4. Now, if you're in our coaching, you can tell your coach, hey, I want more help with this. If you take SalesRocket, which many of you have gone through, you know we go deep. We do a deep dive on these 4 steps: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one of those sources of business. If you add it now, you're not only going to have a great finish to the year, but you're going to start 2024 off real strong. You're going to start 2024 with a new thriving source of business. All right, let's go to part 6. Part 6 is the calendar activity. So the calendar activity is something that I do each and every year, so I really get a good understanding of how much time that I have left in the year. Again, notice December's not on there. Why? Because what we do in December, by the way, when it comes time to do the annual business plan for 2024, December 1 is going to be your first day of 2024. I think you probably figured that out by now. December 1st is actually your first day of 2024, and I want you to take that mindset moving forward. Moving forward in your market, you have a 13-month year. You have a 1-month advantage on your competition because your competition, most cases, they're taking the month of December off. You're getting started on your 2024 plan on December the 1st. Okay, so what do we do with the calendar activity? Here's what I want you to do. And write this down, please. A slanted line, so I'm just going to do a line through September the 3rd. Okay, a slanted line is a half day. A full X, okay, this works out perfect because I don't plan on working Labor Day. A full X means you're taking the day off. So what I want you to do is I want you to truly identify, and for me, this is going to be simple. Every single Sunday is going to have an X because I don't work a Sunday, and you shouldn't either. Why? Because you work your butt off Monday through Saturday. You don't need to work a Sunday. So there goes my Sundays. All right. Oh, I'm going to be on a vacation on these days, so I got to take that week off. You have Thanksgiving here, taking that off. I'm only doing every other Saturday. I'm working a half day, right? So when it's all said and done, it's going to look something like this. Okay. You're going to have half lines and you're going to have X's. What I want you to do is I want you to count up all of the white squares because that's actually how many days you have left in your year to accomplish the goals that you said you wanted to accomplish in the 4th quarter. What I also love about this activity is if you committed to take the day off, you take the day off without feeling guilty. You've already planned to take the day off. This is an activity I do every single 4th quarter. I do this again in December as well because same things there. There's so many distractions and things that come up in December that it's important that we know how many days we actually have left in the year. Okay, let's go to part 7. Part 7. You can't possibly have part 7 and part 8. Hear me loud and clear on this. You've probably heard this before. You can't possibly have a substantial increase in business or even a slight increase in business. It's not likely that you're going to go from closing 2 deals a month on average to 3 without changing anything in your routine. So I'm not suggesting that you join the hashtag 5 a.m. club and get in the office early or anything like that. All I'm suggesting is after you're done with this activity, you take a look and say, okay, with the days that I'm working, what is my new schedule going to look like? Watch. Let's just say for a second you identified that you need to increase your contacts by 30% and you were already making 15 a day. So now you got to go to 20 a day. Where are you going to fit that in? Where's it going to go? You can't just say I'm going to add 5 more contacts a day. You have to budget for them. You have to plan for them. You have to put them in your schedule. Well, now I'm going to go from Jeff prospecting from 8:30 until 9:30. I'm going to have to add at least a half hour, maybe 45 minutes. So now I'm prospecting from 8:30 to 10:15 or 8:30 to 10 or whatever it is. After you're done with the calendar activity, I want you to then take a look at your new morning schedule. I want you to, this is your opportunity to rewrite it. You know, the kids are back in school. I want to know, you know, you got sitter situations set up. Maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you got to be off a little early. Whatever it is, your kids are participating in sports, so you got to budget for that. For Thursday night practice, Friday night game, whatever. This is your opportunity to write out a new routine. And here's what I want you to keep in mind. If you're not increasing your activities and putting them on your schedule, you're not going to have an increase in business. You're going to do, in this case that I shared today, you're going to do, if you've been averaging 2 deals a month, you're going to do 2 deals in September, you're going to do 2 deals in October, you're going to do 2 deals in November. You're going to keep continuing with your trend. But if you want to buck the trend and make a change and actually have an increase in your business, like you're picking a number in the middle, you know, you're picking that number 3 that I just talked about, or for some of you, you've been averaging 5 and your best month was 10. So you're picking 7 or 8. Something's going to have to change in your routine. And as you see down there at the bottom, my new morning schedule weekend, I want you to identify how many weekends you're committing to. I have in there Saturday or Sunday because some of you prefer working Sundays. And if you're going to work Sundays, I'm okay with that. I don't like working Sundays, but if you prefer that, that's fine. Then you better be taking Saturday off. You better find a day that you are taking off because you need 1 full day to recharge each week in this business. And then I want you to identify how many weekends per month are you following that schedule. Let me let you in on a little secret. I shared this in the second half plan. One of the biggest differentiators between myself and my competition through the years is I treat Saturday mornings as no different than a Tuesday morning. I treat Saturday mornings no different than a Wednesday morning, no different than a Friday morning. My Saturday mornings are the same. Now, today, I don't work every single Saturday. I work every other. And of course, now I'm doing some coaching calls with some great clients. But when I was only listing and selling real estate, my Saturday mornings look no different than a Wednesday morning. Now, I know some of you will say, well, Jeff, I work Saturday mornings. What are you talking about? I'm not suggesting that you be available. I'm not suggesting that, you're available for appointments. What I'm suggesting is you look at what it's going to take to hit your contact goal based on the source of business that you're doing, and then figure out a way to build that into your Saturday morning, or if you prefer, Sunday morning schedule. That's part 7. Okay? Let's go to the next part. I'm sorry, part 7 and 8. Let's go to part 9. Part 9. Database value proposition for the 4th quarter. Again, hopefully you have this printed out by now. This is all here for you. How much love have you shown your database? What can you do each month to add value to your database? So when you look at September, October, November, all right, what kind of events can you host? Can you do something around Halloween? Can you do something Halloween themed? Is it a pie giveaway? Is it something at a cider mill or an apple orchard? What can you do to add some value to your database in the 4th quarter? You know it's going to lead to production. You know it's going to lead to transactions. You got to do something in the 4th quarter. So I will tell you, within our own company, we are challenging all of our agents to write at least one thing. Now, by the way, September might just be a market update. I'm not telling you to spend a lot of money. September might be a market update. I'm calling everyone in my database and letting them know what's going on in the market this year. Awesome. October, what are you doing? I'm hosting a Halloween party at my house and I'm having 100 of my best clients out. Cool. Whatever it is. Write something under each. You add value to your database. It will not only give you closed transactions this year before the year's over, it will help you start your year strong. Part 10, 4th quarter goals, database growth goal. Okay, how big do you want to grow your database in the 4th quarter? By the way, for myself, you probably can't see it, but I wrote down there, I'm going to add 163 people to the database in the 4th quarter. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to add 15 clients, past clients in sphere of influence. All right, well, where do you get the number 15 from? Well, I'm going to close 15 more deals between now and the end of the year. Okay, what about exchanges? Well, I'm going to add 60 exchanges because I'm making so many contacts each day. I'm going to add 60 of those. If you're wondering what an exchange is, come to one of our events or join us in SalesRocket. I'll explain that. Social media followers added, I'm going to add 45. Well, how did you determine that? Well, I figured I'm going to do 3, 4, 5 a week maybe, times 10, 12 weeks left in the year. All right, that seems reasonable. Internet leads added, 30 is what I wrote down. How are you going to come up with 30, Jeff? Well, that's essentially, one every couple of days. What about agents added? Well, why would I add agents, Jeff? Agent-to-agent referrals. My goal is to add 1 a week between now and the end of the 4th quarter. So when you total those up, my goal is to add 163 people to my database. Most agents, yeah, I got a database. When's the last time you added to it? Well, every time I have a closing, I add to it. Not going to be enough to win in this new market. You guys know that. We have to find more creative ways to add people to our database outside of just listing and sales. All right, that's going to be through exchanges. That can be people you meet at open houses. These are people that you're going to add value to you, that are going to know you, like you, trust you, and use you and refer you now and later. All right, let's go to part 11. Part 11. So when I look at, all right, if I end up, in this case, since I use the number 3, if I can do 9 deals between now and the end of the year, okay, because I threw away my goal, because my goal was 40, Not going to get there, based on my closed transactions. So I threw that away. Again, I'm just giving you a sake of exercise to keep it simple. I'm only averaging 2 a month, let's just say. So, there's no way I'm going to be able to make up the difference. 16 and 40 is not going to happen. So what number do I pick? Remember, we're picking a number between your best month and your average month. And that number in this case is 3. 3 times 3 months is 9 transactions. Let's just say my average commission after splits and all this other stuff is $5,000. 9 times 5 is 45 grand. Okay, here's what I want to know. What are you going to do for yourself if you put an extra $45,000 in your pocket between now and the end of the year? How is it going to impact yourself, your family, your friends? What are you going to pay off? What are you going to invest in? Where are you going to go? What vacation are you going to take? If you accomplish hitting 9 in this case, what are you going to do for yourself and your family between now and the end of the year? Because if you can't spell this part out, by the way, here's what I know. If you can't clearly articulate what it's going to mean and what it's going to do for you, you're going to end up with your average month, 2 a month in this case, 6 deals. You're going to leave $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 on the table by not changing a thing. I'm good with 2 a month. Well, that's what you're averaging. Well, no, I'm not good with 2 a month. What do you want? Well, I want 5 a month. Have you done 5 a month yet this year? No. What's your best month been? 4. All right, we're picking a number between 4 and 2. I think you figured that out by now. Now, what will you do with that income? If you can clearly articulate and tell me what you're going to do with that income, and you can't just say, I'm going to save it. Why are you going to save it? What are you saving up for? I got to know where it's going. Otherwise, you're not going to put in the extra efforts, and this plan will mean nothing to you. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. 2 pages. Just a couple more things I want to touch on. You see there's the Glover U app. All right. We're putting all of our free resources in there. So moving forward, we're not texting them out like we used to. You got to get your hands on the Glover U app to get all of our free resources. There's a couple documents in here specifically as it relates to helping you with social media. All right. Just posting a photo, just posting a Canva image is not enough anymore. All right. Go to the second to last page. There's our coaching programs. That's the third to last page. Go to the second to last page. Because here's the number one question we're going to get after this webinar. I think we had over 2,000 register. I know many of you are going to watch the replay. Number one question we're going to get is this. Jeff, how can you guys help me have my best fourth quarter ever? And I'm going to give you a solution that does not involve writing a check for $1,000 a month for a coach. Now, don't get me wrong. A handful of you will say, yep, I'm ready for one-on-one coaching. All right. We've developed a solution. You may have heard about it. It's called SalesRocket. And we have hundreds, maybe thousands today. I'm not sure. They haven't told me the updated numbers yet. We'll just call it hundreds to be conservative. Hundreds of agents around North America that are out there buying SalesRocket right now for $395. It's 31 sessions at your own pace. It's like your Netflix, but it's a coaching program that moves at your pace. All of the stuff that I outlined in this plan is spelled out in detail. 31 sessions, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes per session. Anyways, I'm giving you all $100 off right now because when I look at everything we're doing as a company, when I look at how Glover U can help agents like yourself, this is the best resource right now, in my opinion. It is the most complete end-to-end sales training system. There's not many people out there that are teaching you how to sell. That's what it does. SLS is the former program. You might remember it called that. It stands for Skills, Sales Skills, Leads, and Systems. We've already updated it, and it's now called SalesRocket. You all have an opportunity to save $100 on it. They should have it up on the screen so you can see that. It's 31 sessions, and I'm going to give you the code right now. Ready? This gets you $100 off. The code is Q4Webinar. The letter Q for quarter, the number 4, and webinar. All right? This is normally $395. I'm giving you $100 off. It's only good for today because of the webinar. There you have the whole program. There's every single session, all 31 of them. This is going to get you through this, in my opinion, outside of one-on-one coaching. This is the best resource we have of helping you win in the fourth quarter, without question. Everything from listing presentations, buyer consultation, where your listing leads are going to come from, where your buyer leads are going to come from, what actual script to get people to say yes when they tell you they want to wait until after the holidays. Everything from start to finish is covered in SalesRocket. It is the most complete end-to-end sales training system. We have teams and brokerages all over North America using this as their onboarding. I mean, honestly, we have brokerages and teams right now that when an agent signs up day one, they put them right through this. You have the opportunity to get it $100 off, and you have the opportunity to use this at your own pace because it's all virtual. Okay, this wasn't something that was recorded a couple of years ago. This was recorded in the last 12 months. This was recorded in this market. And we've already updated some of the segments. Why? Because the markets change, we have to stay on top of it. So the number one tool that you can use right now if you want to win in a big way is going to be SalesRocket. That's going to help you put a complete business plan together for the fourth quarter. All right, so take advantage of that code. They should have put that down in the chat, by the way. You can get it by going to gloveru.com/SalesRocket. That's gloveru.com/SalesRocket. And the code for $100 off, it's only good for today. So go get it right now or go get it before midnight tonight. The code is Q4 webinar. Q, the number 4, webinar. That's how you can get $100 off. In my opinion, it's the best tool that we have right now that's going to help you in the fourth quarter, which will put you in a position to start the year off strong. The last thing I want to share with you, the very last page in the plan. All right, you might see some faces you know there. I don't know, Damon John. Anyone watch Shark Tank? Damon John, Sean Accor, Valerie Burton, myself, and of course all of our coaches and over 1,000 real estate agents, leaders, and brokerages from around North America are going to be joining us in Phoenix this January. All right, so I'm not going to stand here and tell you, go get your tickets now and all this stuff, but I want you to mark your calendars for January 15th through the 18th, because once you're done with SalesRocket, because I want you to complete SalesRocket between now and the end of the year. You want a tool to help you win this year, it's going to be SalesRocket. The moment you're done with SalesRocket and you're ready to start 2024 strong, boom, here's your solution. Most conferences today are $1,000, $1,500. This is only $499. All right, you can scan the QR code or you can go to gloveru.com/summit. If you've never been to one of our events before, the number one question that we get from attendees of webinars is, all right, I'm signing up for SalesRocket and I'm considering your event. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Well, instead of me telling you about it, let me just show you what we do while we're at our event. So check it out. This January, here's what we'll be up to.
If you want to go from X to 2X, you have to make a change in your business. If you want to go from X to 5X or even 10X, you need to make a change in your life, and you need to start now. There's a reason why top producers are always getting to the best real estate conferences.
I've been to many conferences throughout my 12-year career, and this is one of the best I've ever attended.
If you want to be a millionaire, you have to hang around millionaires.
They're selling real estate at a high level, they're very successful, and these are definitely the people you want to be around.
So this is an opportunity for you to get out of your everyday environment and hang around people who are where you want to be.
Not only are they coaching it, but these guys are doing it.
The reality is that only 10% of real estate agents survive in this business, and even fewer thrive. Why should you follow me and come to our Live Unreal Summit? Because I'm in the trenches with you, taking listings, going on appointments, and selling homes. I know what it takes to go from X to an unreal life, and it is my personal mission to take you there. No other real estate coach in North America sells as much as I do.
The exponential growth that I've seen since I started with GloverU has been incredible.
And we'll be sharing the lead generation, the lead conversion, social media, listing, buyer, and database value propositions, digital marketing, video, and so much more.
The intimate setting of just top agents from all over. We are definitely Glover lovers.
You'll hear from over 30 top agents from across North America. As main stage panelists, we'll have breakout sessions, masterminds, one-on-one interviews, and we get to have some fun too. You can stay and enjoy everything the Sheraton Grand Wild Horse Pass has to offer. Between golf, the pool, spa, kayaking, everything's on site. Bring your team in early and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day activities and all that the resort has to offer. Your future in this business rests on the commitments you make today. So what are you waiting for? We'll see you this January.
That's right. What are you waiting for? So if we don't see you this January in Phoenix, Arizona, by the way, that's our first time. I've stayed at this resort before. It's a beautiful resort. Everything's on site. You don't ever even have to leave. If we don't see you this January in Phoenix, we better see you in SalesRocket, because I will tell you, when I look at all of the tools, all of the resources, everything agents are doing to win at a high level right now, it's because they're going through SalesRocket, whether it's virtual or in person. We've got several in-person ones going on around the country at any given time. And you have an opportunity to dive into the exact same training that they're going through and having success with right from the comfort of your home. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of that code to help you get $100 off. We will see you in SalesRocket. I will see you in January in Phoenix this January. And let's go kick some butt this fourth quarter. It starts right now. See you guys later.